Welcome back, Wolfpack Verlis here, and this is how to use Weezing. So Weezing, another good tanky Pokemon, can be used a surprising amount of ways. Yet again, we have some good defensive stats across the board. We have a small amount of offense, low amount of speed, but I mean, that defense though, got a really good, just like pure physical tank, as well as you can make it work in special defense as well. Looking at its poison typing, we see something a bit different right now. Its main ability is Levitate, and that means it's going to be immune to ground types instead of weak against them, so you have 5 resistances and 1 weakness. That's incredibly excellent for a defensive typing. Like, Weezing has a lot of just sustainability. It's really hard to really hit it hard, and when you're only weak against Psychic, which isn't really that common, you can make a lot of work happen right now. That you have a lot of resistances against some common threats like Fairy right now, and then on top of that, you know, a lot of neutral hits isn't bad at all. The immunity can be really nice too. You keep Weezing on your team, you see that you predict them using an Earth move, you know, just switch in Weezing and now you get free setup. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown. Goodness gracious. This is kind of going to be a vague episode. I'm going to give the heads up right now. There's going to be a lot of mix and match that normally with my strategy guides, I more see them as templates, not like hardcore guides that you need to follow. That if you think something should be different, go ahead and change it. That, you know, it does create a lot of freedom. It does create a lot of things that you can change for yourself and keep aspects that you want to have for your team. And that's why I leave a lot of open ends sometimes. That, you know, you can't do everything in Pokemon. I'll admit that it's a bit of that. And at the same time, you know, anyone can do what they want. I'm not going to say you can't run something some way. I'm just going to give what I think is the better options and what you can probably go from there with. So with Weezing, it can do a lot of things. That I'm mostly going to talk about 2 main EV spreads and then talk about all the other moves that it can use. That what I see here is that if you go with the hit points and special defense, max those out, go with the defensive nature since you're getting the most out of that stat, you can make Weezing a very strong Pokemon. You also can go with the special defense nature as well. I just don't like trying to waste those points by putting something in a lesser nature, but if you want to have more special defense, go ahead and do it. Because with Pain Split, you're going to be cutting your opponent's attack in half, so it really doesn't matter too much. And the idea is you become a huge special defense tank, throw out the Pain Split, you lower their offensive capabilities, then you become a very well-rounded tank, and you can do a lot from there. That Pain Split gives you sustain, Black Sludge gives you sustain. Since you're a poison type, you can't get toxic, which means you're not going to become burned down over time. And at the same time, it gets Stockpile and Infestation. So between Will-O-Wisp and Infestation, you're going to be doing a lot of damage to them over the course of several turns. And with Stockpile, you become almost incredible, like just almost impossible to knock out. Top of that, you can also just run Weezing as a pure defensive tank that has a ton of utility. You have Haze, Taunt, Clear Smog, Destiny Bond. Whatever moves you feel you can sneak in, go for it. You can have a bit of offensive mixed with Destiny Bond. You can have Haze if you want to make sure that, you know, your opponent isn't going to gain a huge edge and be able to, like, keep that edge. You also have Clear Smog because if you're using Stockpile, Haze will remove your stockpiles. So Clear Smog is for the Stockpile or Curse sets, because Weezing also gets Curse with its other craziness that it can do. Also, it has a lot of offensive like bulk. You can use Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb, Fire Blast, Flamethrower. And Fire Blast and Flamethrower are really good moves on Weezing because it's poison. What does it get walled out by? Steel. What's Steel weak against? Fire. What does Weezing get? Fire. Cool. So a lot of the things do round out really well for Weezing, because it just has a naturally crazy move pool with utility across the board and shenanigans everywhere. On top of that, we can also look at some other example sets. I was thinking you can go with like Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Haze, Flamethrower as an example. You know that this will be a good way of eliminating stat changes, keep your opponent down physically, and then having the Flamethrower Will-O-Wisp damage to just eventually knock out a lot of opponents as they're helpless. I would recommend running this one with the special defense set. On top of that, another more special defense one is that with the Curse Payback, Curse is going to give you a lot of offense, Payback is going to do a lot of damage, then you can hold on to Destiny Bond if you feel that, you know, they're bringing a special attacker, you maybe have 1 or 2 hits left in you, then you have Pain Split for the sustain, and then we can also go for one that uses more of the defensive utility, that you don't really worry about special defense, you have a special defense tank on your team already, like Florges or Sylveon, or something that's meant to absorb those special hits, then you can just go with Toxic Flamethrower, Clear Smog and Protect, or Haze, or something like that. So with this, you know, again, this would be a good spot for Haze. The Pain Split with Stockpile could have a good slot for Haze. That, you know, it's whatever you can really fit that your team needs. Do you need a mixed tank? Do you need a defensive tank? Do you need a special defensive tank? Weezing can kind of fit into all those roles and provide a lot of disruption. That with this, you're pretty much going to be relying on damage from Toxic to burn them down while you protect. gain health from leftovers, and then clear Smog if they try to do anything fishy. And at the same time, you can also run Haze on this one as well. That's kind of like the clear Smog. It's a little extra chip damage on top of the Toxic and Flamethrower. But since you're not statting up yourself, you might as well try to, you know, stop the Steel types and Pokemon that are subbing as well. And on top of that, I think that's it. We have just a lot of ways to run Weezing, a lot of craziness. You can set up, you can just be a status whore that, you know, if they have a lot of physical on their team, Will-O-Wisp, switch out, Will-O-Wisp, switch out, Will-O-Wisp, switch out. Switch back in and stuff, and then you have Flamethrower to cover your Steel weaknesses, while also you can do a lot of other things like the Toxic set, that you Toxic, spread that around, throw around some Pain Split, end it with a Destiny Bond. Weezing has just a lot of things. You really get to build your own Pokemon with this one, and you can do almost anything you want with it. So Weezing, good Pokemon. If you guys enjoyed the video, that's how you use Weezing. I couldn't do a cough on command. I think that would have been a little